Muddy colors ruining your paintings?
Have you ever mixed your acrylic colors and ended up with dull or murky or even plain muddy colors? It happens, right? And don't worry, today's video I am going to show you how to exactly fix all these muddy colors in your painting, and most importantly, how to avoid them in the first place. Let's get started. So what do we mean by muddy colors exactly? Muddy colors are dull, lifeless colors or tones that occur when too many colors are mixed together like this one here, or when complementary colors are blended incorrectly. While they are not always bad, sometimes you need these muted tones and values. Most of the time, muddy colors happen by accident and they can ruin the entire vibrancy of your painting. Alright, in this first section, let's talk about how you can fix the muddy colors on your already done paintings. The first thing that you do is identify the problem area. So, this is a very old painting of mine. And here if you see, these browns are kind of over empowering the entire area of the tree here. So this one I wanted to change. This is kind of looking murky and does not go well with the yellows and the reds there. So when you are doing a painting, if you are able to identify these kind of muddy colors, you can correct it then and there if the paint is still wet. For example, if you have just laid the paint and it is still wet, what you can do is you can have a damp cloth and just wipe it off, and you will get it off, and then you can repaint on top of it. This will work only if your base layer is dry completely, or if your canvas is fresh and you are doing it on the fresh canvas. If your paint is completely dry and if the painting is over and you wanted to change something that you have done already, what you can do is you can repaint on top of it. We can mix fresh colors and bring it onto the canvas. You can reapply on top of the area where you want to touch it and adjust the painting. So the third thing that you will do is build up layers. So here I have done an orange kind of a color. You can build up layers once it dries with more brighter colors like yellow, and then bring on the painting as layers to establish the values. So this will work for any of the painting that is completely dry. You can keep working on layers like this. The next thing that you can do is glazing. You can glaze more brighter and vibrant colors on top of it. You can use a glazing medium, or you can also add a touch of water and use it. Usually glazing works best if you have a glazing medium. Otherwise, no problem, just add a bit of water to your paint and glaze it on top of your area where you wanted to change your color. So here I am using an acrylic glazing medium. You get it from a variety of companies. So you can add your paint to it, make it very thin, and whatever vibrant color that you wanted to use, you can glaze over that area. So when it dries, you will get more vibrant colors. You can glaze as many times as you want, but then you'll have to always allow the layer to dry before doing the next layer. Now that we have fixed the problem in the existing paintings, here are some tips to avoid the muddy colors totally from your paintings and make it more vibrant. The first thing that you can do is stick to a limited palette. Fewer colors mean fewer chances to make mistakes. So start from the most important shades that you need and then work your way up. If you are a beginner and wanted to work on a limited palette, limit yourself with maximum of 10 to 12 colors. That is a very good place to start. Here is a quick list of colors that you can get started with. If you are new to acrylics, here is my free guide on color mixing for beginners, which has all the basics and tips for color mixing. You can download it from the link guide.modulacreations.com. I will also leave a link in the description below. Another way is to start with the primary colors and mix it from there. So you can have a primary yellow, red and blue, and work your way through these colors. Additionally, you can also have a white and black to lighten or darken the colors. As a beginner, this will make you more comfortable with the colors before you add something onto the palette. Of course, you can add few more colors to this primary colors to create your own palette, but keeping it limited will ensure that you master the art of color mixing. Once you master it, you can keep on adding new colors to your palette. This will ensure that you get vibrant colors every time you mix. The next thing is to clean your brushes and tools. Rinse your brushes and wipe your palette thoroughly and often to avoid unwanted color contaminations. So you do wanted to work on a cleaner palette where you can see what color you are getting. For example, this colors that we mixed, it was very clear that what color we are getting, rather than if you are mixing in such a muddy palette itself, you are going to contaminate most of the colors, and whenever you are mixing the colors on this kind of a palette, you will not be able to clearly see what is the end color that you are achieving. So always keep your palette, water, everything clean, and wipe your brushes as well as palette so that when you mix your colors, it can be as fresh and vibrant for your paintings. So here I have just washed my brush, but I have not wiped it properly. I am just bringing it directly to the color. Now you can see how much it makes a difference. The color that we mixed fresh is looking vibrant, but when we don't wipe our brushes properly or clean our brushes properly and just bring it on to mix the colors, then you will see a great difference in the vibrancy of the color. The color will become very dull and muddy. Even if you try to add more yellow to it, it is going to stay a little bit dull. You can just see how bright this color is and how dull this color is. Imagine putting this on your painting. Your painting will definitely look dull. The next thing is to keep your water clean. Often change your water, and as soon as it starts to get grayish or muddyish, you will have to keep changing your water. Alternatively, you can have multiple bowls to work with for a single session, but even then you might have to keep changing your water. I will show you mixing colors with a dirty water and as well as a clean water. So here you get a bright orange and here you get a very dull orange. You can see the difference for yourself. So have in mind to keep changing your water to keep your colors fresh and vibrant. So that is why you have to often change your water and keep it clean. The next thing is to layer instead of over mixing. So instead of trying to mix the perfect color on your palette itself, build it up in layers on your canvas. So always work as layers on your canvas. In that case, you will not over mix your colors on your palette. So you can start with a base color and then allow the layer to dry and then do your second layer. Build slowly with these kind of layers. The next thing is to learn basic color theory. Understanding how colors interact with each other can save you a lot of headache. For example, avoiding mixing complementary colors together unless you want a neutral tone like a muted gray or a muted brown. You need not mix those colors. Those colors are really important, and in some of the areas it gives a very interesting values as well, but you need to know when to mix them and where to place them. For that you have to be really good in your color theory. For example, mixing red and green, which are opposite in the color wheel, those are complementary colors, will result in muted grays or muted browns like the ones that you see here. You can see the exact color when I mix white to it to lighten it up. Remember, every artist faces this challenge at some point, so don't be discouraged. With a few adjustments, you can turn any muddy color into vibrant colors. To understand the mixing of these acrylic colors, I did a detailed video on color mixing which is available on my channel. I will link it in the card above and also give it in the description box below. Do have a look at it. If you found this video useful and if you really got value from this video, please click on the like button and share it with your friends. Do subscribe and stay connected as I post detailed video tutorials like this one. Have a great week. Happy painting.